Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real today. Life is too short to chase someone who doesn't see your worth. You have value. You have time. And your presence, your energy is powerful. If someone is ignoring you, they're not just neglecting you. They're disrespecting themselves by letting go of the blessing you are. Now listen, you don't have to beg for attention. You don't have to send 100 messages hoping he'll respond. You don't have to rearrange your life for someone who isn't putting in the effort. Because here's the truth, when you love yourself, others are forced to respect it. Teach him the price of ignoring you. Step back. Focus on your goals, your passions, your growth. When he sees you thriving without him, when he sees the joy you carry, the confidence you radiate, the love that surrounds you, it will hit him. And that's when he'll understand what he's lost. You've got to understand something right now. Your value is not up for negotiation. I don't care how many messages he's ignoring. I don't care how many times he cancels. I don't care how many times he makes you feel small. Your worth is not determined by someone else's attention. You have to get this into your spirit and your soul. No one gives value. You recognize your own, and when you do, others will follow your lead. Too many people walk around looking for validation in all the wrong places. They want someone else to tell them they're beautiful, they're smart, they're enough. Let me tell you something. The world is not obligated to tell you that. It's your job to tell yourself that every single day. You are more than your relationship status, more than someone's idea of what you should be, more than their limited imagination of who you are. When you understand your own worth, suddenly the games stop. Suddenly, the excuses don't hold any weight. Suddenly, you realize you don't have to bend over backward for someone who isn't even willing to meet you halfway. If a man is ignoring you, it's not because you're not enough. It's because he hasn't learned to appreciate what he has. But that's on him, not you. See, when you value yourself, you create a standard. You create a line that says, this is who I am, and I will not let anyone treat me below this. And that's powerful. That's magnetic. That's what draws the right people toward you. So many of you get caught up thinking, if I just try harder, if I just text back, if I just wait, maybe he'll notice me. That is weakness. That is desperation. And it's exhausting. Stop giving your energy to someone who can't see it. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's indifference. Value yourself enough to walk away from anyone who makes you feel less than you are. Value yourself enough to protect your time, protect your peace, and protect your heart. When you love yourself, you no longer chase attention. You no longer accept crumbs. You no longer settle for someone who can't match your energy. Here's the thing, and I need you to hear me loud and clear. Confidence comes from self-value. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you hold your head up high, that is all rooted in how much you believe in your own worth. And when you operate from that space, the wrong people can't touch you. They can't pull you down. They can't make you feel invisible because you've already recognized your presence, your impact, your energy, and your light. I want you to start telling yourself every day, I am worthy. I am valuable. I am enough, not because someone else said so, but because you said so. Practice it. Feel it. Live it. Make decisions from that space. And when he ignores you, when he hesitates, when he's slow to act, you'll be standing in your power, unaffected. You'll be growing, thriving, living a life so full and vibrant that the world can't ignore you. And when he finally realizes what he's missing, it won't be a matter of convincing him. It will be a matter of him seeing a woman who has never needed him to validate her worth. Listen to me. Too many people get caught up thinking love means you have to put up with everything, tolerate disrespect, and bend over backwards for someone who doesn't value you. Let me tell you something real. Love is not about letting someone take advantage of you. It's about mutual respect. And if a man is ignoring you, if he's dismissive, if he's acting like your time, your feelings, and your presence don't matter, it's time to set boundaries. Boundaries are not just rules. They are your declaration that you value yourself. They are your way of saying, I will not be treated this way. I will not be overlooked. I will not be disrespected. Too many women confuse boundaries with being mean or cold. That's a lie. Boundaries are protection. Boundaries are self-respect in action. They tell a man, or anyone for that matter, that you are not disposable. You don't bend to every whim. You don't drop everything just because someone decides to show up or not show up. Boundaries are a way of saying, I know what I bring to the table, and I will not let anyone steal my energy, my peace, or my time. And let me be very clear, setting boundaries is not punishment. It's not about making him suffer. It's about teaching him the real cost of ignoring someone like you. When you set boundaries, you are showing strength. You are saying, I have standards. I know my worth. I will not settle for less than I deserve. And you know what happens when you do this? The wrong people leave and the right people start paying attention. They see a woman who values herself, who is not desperate, who refuses to compromise her dignity. And that, my friend, is attractive. That's powerful. That's how you teach someone the value of your presence without having to beg or plead or manipulate. Too many times, women let someone slide because they are afraid of confrontation. They are afraid of losing him. Let me tell you something. If he's not respecting your time and attention, he's already gone in spirit. You're not losing someone who was ever truly invested in you. Boundaries are your way of making sure that energy, that love, that time you invest is reserved for people who actually deserve it. And don't underestimate the lesson this teaches him. When you stop answering every call, when you stop chasing, when you make it clear that your time is valuable, suddenly he starts to see what he's missing. Suddenly he realizes that ignoring you comes at a price, and that price is losing someone irreplaceable. Setting boundaries also allows you to focus on yourself, your growth, and your life. It frees you from the emotional roller coaster of wondering if he's going to respond or care. You reclaim your energy, your peace, your time, and your happiness. And let me tell you, there's nothing more powerful than a woman who is in control of her own life, who does not rely on someone else's approval to feel complete. That is the ultimate lesson for anyone who tries to ignore or undervalue you. When you set boundaries, you stop being a doormat. You stop being a placeholder. You stop being someone who tolerates disrespect in the hope of someday being appreciated. You start being a woman who knows her worth, protects her energy, and teaches people through her actions that ignoring her comes with a cost. And when he finally gets it, it won't be because you shouted it from the rooftops. It will be because you lived it and your life became the message. Now, let me tell you something. Too many people waste their energy waiting on someone who isn't willing to show up. They sit around hoping for calls, texts, or attention that never comes, and meanwhile, their lives are standing still. You can't let that be you. You've got to focus on growth. Growth is power. Growth is freedom. Growth is how you take back control of your life and show someone that ignoring you doesn't mean you disappear. It means you rise. When a man ignores you, don't sit there wondering why. Don't spend hours thinking about what you did wrong. Spend that time building yourself, investing in yourself, and creating a life so full, so rich, and so vibrant that nobody can overlook you. Growth doesn't just happen by wishing it. Growth happens when you take action, when you put in the work, when you commit to becoming the best version of yourself. That could be learning something new, building your career, focusing on your health, expanding your social circle, or pursuing passions that light you up. When you pour energy into yourself, you create something undeniable. You create a life that is magnetic. And that, my friends, is the kind of life that teaches people the real cost of ignoring you. You don't have to confront them. You don't have to beg. Your life becomes the evidence, loud and clear, that your value cannot be ignored. Too many people confuse growth with being busy for the sake of being busy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about meaningful growth. I'm talking about building skills, confidence, self-respect, and happiness that no one can take away. You see, when a man ignores you, it's not just about him, it's about how you respond. If you respond by growing, by improving, by expanding your world, you automatically create distance between yourself and the people who don't see your worth. And that distance, that's a lesson. That's the message. That's teaching him without saying a word. That ignoring you has consequences. When you focus on growth, you shift the energy. You stop being reactive and you start being proactive. You stop worrying about someone else's choices and start making choices that elevate your life. You start to realize that your time is precious, your energy is sacred, and your presence is powerful. And the truth is, when you operate from this space, the wrong people can't keep up. They can't pull you down. They can't make you feel small. And suddenly, the person who was ignoring you has to watch as you build a life that is thriving, exciting, and full of purpose. They have to see you laughing, learning, achieving, and loving yourself fully. And that, my friend, is the most effective lesson of all. Focusing on growth also helps you develop clarity. When you invest in yourself, you understand what you want, what you deserve, and what you will no longer tolerate. You stop settling for someone's indifference. You stop making excuses for someone's lack of effort. You start seeing the reality of the situation with fresh eyes. And from that clarity comes power, the power to make decisions that honor your worth. So, when someone ignores you, don't shrink, don't chase, don't plead, grow, build yourself, expand your mind, your heart, your life. Create so much value in yourself that the world can't help but notice. That is how you teach him the price of ignoring you. And let me tell you something, the right people, the ones who truly matter, will be drawn to that energy. They will step in and match your effort. But even if they don't, you will have gained something far more important. You will have gained yourself, and that is priceless. Listen to me, confidence is one of the most powerful tools you have, and too many people underestimate it. Confidence isn't about being loud, flashy, or arrogant. Confidence is knowing your worth, standing firm in your value, and refusing to let someone else's actions define how you feel about yourself. When a man ignores you, confidence becomes your secret weapon. It tells the world and him that you are complete, whole, and unshakable, whether he notices it or not. And let me tell you something, nothing is more magnetic, more attractive, or more undeniable than a person who knows exactly what they bring to the table and refuses to settle for less. Confidence doesn't come from what someone else says. It comes from what you believe. It comes from the late nights you've worked on yourself, the challenges you've faced and overcome, and the life you've built on your own terms. It comes from realizing that you are not defined by someone else's attention or approval. When you carry yourself with confidence, it doesn't matter if he's texting back or not. It doesn't matter if he's showing up or ghosting. You are powerful because you have mastered the art of self-respect, self-love, and self-assurance. That kind of energy is infectious, irresistible, and undeniable. Here's the thing. When a man ignores you, many women feel powerless. They feel small. They feel desperate. But confidence flips that script. Confidence tells him, without saying a word, that you are not available for his games. Confidence says, I am a prize, and I will not be treated like an option. And that is something he cannot ignore. When you walk into a room, when you smile, when you speak, when you laugh, confidence is the aura that surrounds you. It's the message that says you value yourself, and it's the clearest way to teach someone the price of taking you for granted. Too many people confuse confidence with arrogance. But let me make this clear. There is a huge difference. Arrogance is about proving yourself to the world. Confidence is about knowing yourself without needing to prove it to anyone. When you operate from confidence, you don't chase, you don't beg, and you don't worry about being ignored. You live your life boldly, unapologetically, and passionately. And that is how you teach him that ignoring you comes with consequences. You don't have to confront him, argue with him, or plead for attention. Your energy, your presence, and your unshakable confidence do all the talking. Confidence also attracts the right people. When you are secure in who you are, you naturally draw people who value and respect you. People who are going to show up, match your energy, and appreciate your worth. And for the ones who don't, well, confidence protects you from wasting time on them. It gives you the courage to walk away gracefully, knowing that your value is non-negotiable. Confidence is not just attractive, it's protective. It shields you from disrespect and ensures that you are only giving your time and energy to those who deserve it. So when a man ignores you, don't shrink. Don't fret. Don't question your worth. Stand tall, smile, speak, walk. Live your life in full color. Let him see that you are a force to be reckoned with, that you are whole, that you are thriving, and that ignoring you is a loss he will feel. Confidence is not just about looking good or being noticed. It's about radiating the knowledge that you are enough, and anyone who fails to recognize that is the one who is missing out. That, my friend, is how you teach him the price of ignoring you. Now, let me tell you something. Sometimes the loudest message you can send isn't with words. It's with your absence. Too many people think that attention has to be demanded, that affection has to be begged for, or that love has to be chased down. That is a lie. The truth is, when someone ignores you, stepping back, creating space, and letting your absence be felt is one of the most powerful lessons you can teach. Absence has a way of opening eyes, stirring hearts, and making people realize the value of what they've been taking for granted. You see, when you constantly make yourself available to someone who isn't showing up for you, you diminish your own worth. You're giving them power they don't deserve. You're handing over control of your emotions, your energy, and your happiness to someone who isn't even trying. But when you pull back, when you stop bending over backward, when you stop rearranging your life to fit their indifference, suddenly your absence becomes a statement. It's loud, it's clear, and it demands recognition. And the most beautiful part is you don't have to yell, argue, or manipulate. Your life does the talking. Absence isn't about being petty or spiteful. It's about self-respect. It's about letting someone see that your time, your attention, and your love are not disposable. It's about showing them that you are not going to settle for crumbs when you are a whole meal. When a man ignores you, don't chase. Don't plead. Don't try to explain why he should notice you. Step back. Focus on your life, your passions, your growth, and your happiness. Let him watch from the sidelines as you thrive without him. That is how he learns the price of taking you for granted. And let me tell you, this works because absence creates space for reflection. When you are not constantly available, when you stop answering every call or texting back instantly, the wrong behavior becomes impossible to ignore. Suddenly, he has to confront his own choices. Suddenly, he has to realize what he's losing, what he's ignoring, and what he may never get back. Absence teaches lessons faster and deeper than any argument ever could. It forces him to recognize your value in ways that words alone cannot accomplish. Too many women fear absence because they think being distant will push someone away. Let me tell you something. It will push the wrong ones away, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want someone who only shows up when it's convenient. You want someone who values you, who respects your time, and who appreciates your presence. Your absence filters out the people who don't belong in your life and makes room for the ones who do. It's not rejection. It's selection. It's powerful. It's freeing. And it is the most effective way to teach a man that ignoring you carries consequences. Absence also allows you to focus on yourself, and there is nothing more attractive than a person who is thriving independently. When you are living your life fully, chasing dreams, building your confidence, and enjoying your happiness, the world notices. And the one who ignored you will notice too. They will see the woman they tried to overlook glowing, smiling, achieving, and living fully. And that's a reality check they cannot ignore. So when a man ignores you, don't panic. Don't cry over lost attention. Step back, focus on yourself, build your life, nurture your dreams, and let your absence send the message that your presence was never something to be taken lightly. That is how you teach someone the real price of ignoring you. Listen to me carefully. Respect is not optional. It's not something you hope for or beg for. It is not a gift someone can choose to give you or take away. Respect is a baseline, a non-negotiable standard for how you allow people to treat you. And too many women make the mistake of tolerating behavior that is beneath them, excusing actions that diminish their value, and accepting attitudes that tell them they are less than they are. Let me be very clear. No one has the right to disrespect you, and no one has the right to ignore your feelings, your time, or your presence. You must set the standard and demand it, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. When a man ignores you, he is already showing you a lack of respect, and how you respond defines your power. You cannot bend, you cannot plead, you cannot convince someone to value you if they have no intention of doing so. Respect is not about manipulation, it's about boundaries. It's about making it clear through your actions and choices that you will not tolerate being undervalued or ignored. When you insist on respect, you send a message that your energy, your love, and your presence are priceless, and that ignoring you comes at a cost. Many women think respect is earned through love or patience, but the truth is, respect starts with yourself. It starts with knowing that you deserve to be treated with dignity and care, no matter what. When you insist on respect, you stop allowing others to walk over you. You stop settling for half-hearted attention, excuses, or indifference. You start living from a position of strength, clarity, and confidence. And that is how you teach someone that ignoring you is unacceptable. It's not about punishing them. It's about valuing yourself enough to demand what you deserve. Respect is also about consistency. You can't expect respect in one moment and tolerate disrespect in the next. When a man ignores you, your response must be consistent with your values. You don't chase him. You don't beg. You don't lower your standards to fit his schedule or mood. You maintain your integrity, your self-worth, and your standards. By doing this, you demonstrate that respect is a requirement, not a request. You show him that your presence is meaningful, your time is precious, and your energy is not up for grabs. And here's the thing. When you enforce respect, you create clarity. You make it clear who belongs in your life and who doesn't. People who are unwilling to honor your worth will step aside. And that's exactly what you need. You don't want someone who doesn't respect you. You want someone who values you, who appreciates your energy, who is willing to meet you with the same effort and care you give. Respect is non-negotiable because it protects you, your heart, and your future. It ensures that your love and attention are reserved for people who truly deserve them. Insisting on respect also cultivates self-love. When you stand firm, when you refuse to tolerate ignoring, you reinforce your own sense of value. You teach yourself that you are not dependent on someone else's approval or attention to feel complete. That internal strength becomes visible, magnetic, and empowering. People notice it, and those who fail to show respect quickly realize that ignoring you carries real consequences. So when someone ignores you, don't compromise. Don't make excuses for them. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Stand tall, enforce your standards, and demand respect. That is how you show them that respect is not optional, that your time and presence are valuable, and that ignoring you comes with a price they may never forget. Respect is non-negotiable, and once you embrace that truth, you are unstoppable.